Tony, do you mind giving us the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so our first item of business is to consider nominations for the rec board secretary. Do I have any nominations?
Chair it.
Oh,
Castilian.
also, do you want me to?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. First of all, there's no plumbing in the building tonight, so the bathrooms are off limits. So sorry.
Madam Chair, I'll nominate Tom Wilson.
Second.
Okay, nominated by Steve, seconded by Rochelle. Any other nominations? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, congratulations.
Keep good notes.
I still don't use off the hook for that. Okay. For now is the appropriate time for visitors in the audience to be recognized and to speak on items both on the agenda and of general concerns to the patrons of Green River Schools. There will be a limit of 3 minutes for an individual and 5 minutes for a group spokesperson. No speaker shall speak more than twice on any issue. The board is legally obligated to maintain confidentiality concerning district personnel, and therefore matters concerning district personnel will not be discussed. Do we have any comments tonight? Okay, moving on. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Rochelle, seconded by Steve. We need to make a motion to amend the agenda and remove
Oh, that's right.
item.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we amend the agenda and eliminate item 7.11.
Thank you. All in favor of the amended?
Second.
Second, but okay, sorry. Moved by Steve, seconded by Rochelle. All in favor of the
Aye.
amended agenda?
Aye.
Thank you. And then all in favor of the agenda as amended?
Aye.
Yeah. Okay, there's no district goals or leadership activities, no bid request items, so we'll move on to,
Minutes.
oh, sorry. We need to approve the minutes from the December meeting. Can I get a motion to approve those?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved by Brenda, seconded by Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, now moving on. We'll go to 7.1. We'll hear an update on the budget. Thanks, Chris.
Chairman Castilian, Superintendent Behringer, and trustees. This is a budget information sheet for you guys to have. I don't know if you got it earlier to look at, but it just is projecting our revenues for next year and their projections, just understand that, and showing you what we have going out in continuing recurring costs out of the budget. And then the itemized grant requests and the reserves. So it was just an informational piece for you to have prior to listening to the grant requests that coming in this year. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to 7.2, consider approval of the City of Green River request for the Riverside Memorial Park improvements. Brad Rainey.
Good evening, Chairwoman Castilian, Superintendent Behringer, and trustees. Thanks for listening to me tonight. I'll be brief. I know you have a lot of requests to go over. Thank you for your ongoing partnership with the City of Green River. We've offered some great programs and facilities with your partnership. I presented this last year to give you a warning that I would come and submit a grant for this year. So I'll just summarize it real quick. This is a major renovation to Riverside Memorial Park. That's as you drive over the 530 bridge, you can see the park down there. It's the primary access point to the Greenbelt. The project will restore the riverbank, tear out the concrete pathway and replace it with a new one, replace the playground and add lighting to the pathway there to extend the hours of the park, make it safer. I'm not going to make you all do this, but I bet if I had everyone that used this park raise their hand in this room, I bet everybody would raise their hand, almost everybody. It's an important park. It's an important corridor for the city. For school children wanting to ride their bike to school, if you go to Lincoln or the high school and you live on the north side, that's the way that you're going to go. So it's a lot of it's fixing up what we already have and adding the lighting too. I think an important thing to note is that $525,000 of this project have already been secured through grants. There's a Land Water Conservation Fund grant and a Transportation Alternative Program grant. The city has $175,000 cash match, and then we're requesting $50,000. And then the last important thing to know is construction wouldn't happen until 2023. We're in design starting now through the rest of the year. So that might affect the budget that was just presented of when the reimbursement would actually be requested. And I'll entertain any questions if you have any.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
Chris, on the budget side, would it make sense for us to take this out of this year's fiscal year? Should we wait and do it in 2023? I mean, okay.
Okay.
So we can approve the project, just the funding may come out this year or it may come out in the next fiscal year. Okay. I'll make a motion, we approve.
Moved by Steve, seconded by Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion is approved. Next, we have consider approval for the City of Green River request for the 4th session of summer swim lessons. Sherry Schumacher.
Hi. I'm Sherry Schumacher, Recreation Supervisor for the City of Green River. One of my responsibilities is swimming lessons. And every year we go to the Green River High School Aquatic Center and offer 2 sessions. And one of those sessions is why I'm here today, is to ask for funding to offer the final session of this summer of swimming lessons. We do take registration, and what I'm asking for, the amount that I'm asking for is what would be the rest of it. So we're expecting to get some money for registration, and this would be the rest of it to pay for the instructors and the materials that we need to offer that session.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved by Tom, second by Brenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Consider approval for the City of Green River request for the summer day camp program. Katie Duncan.
Good evening. I'm Katie Duncombe. I run the summer day camp program for the Parks and Recreation Department. And this year we're asking for $18,400 for transportation and experience fees for summer camp. That program runs we're going to run it for 8 weeks this summer, May 31st through July 29th. And it really helps with our field trips, either in town and out of town field trips, to provide just quality experiences for the kids. We have a great partnership with the school district at Monroe Elementary, and last year was definitely our biggest year. It might have been an anomaly, I'm not sure, but we definitely averaged over 80 kids a day, and I have it opened up to 100 this year if we get to that. So we're excited to provide that again. Do you guys have any questions?
Katie, what did we fund last year?
So I asked for about the 18,400, and it ended up being about 16, just over 16. And that was not due to transportation. Transportation, I used all of the funds for that. I didn't use quite as much in the experience fees.
Okay. So this basically is a request up to 18,400.
Yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion, we approve up to 18,400. We already do that.
No,
Second?
we didn't.
Okay.
Moved by Steve. What?
Tom second.
Second by Tom. All in favor? Aye.
Do have one question.
Yes.
You spell your name with a K, yes?
Katie with a K and Catherine with a C.
Okay, because I read your application today. We worked together for a long time.
Yeah.
I said, K Katie, but C Duncombe.
Yep. Sorry, that's my parents' fault.
So anyway,
Katie. Motion's approved. Okay, consider approval of the Green River Challenger League request. Hi, Donna Tramp and
Tramp.
Casey Core.
I am in charge of the Green River Little League or Challenger League. And we want to first of all greet you and thank you for letting us be here. And second of all, we have a thank you card from the team. I wanted to show you guys.
thank you.
Last year, we requested 1765 or 1600. We had the most kids we've had. Last year, we had 27 kids, and then this year, we're looking at almost 30. So we're super excited for the Challenger League this year, and we just like to thank you for funding us and supporting our special needs kids in our community to give them the chance and the opportunity to be able to play a sport. It's really a lot of fun. We offer the league from May to June, 6 weeks, every Saturday from 10 to noon. And we have 2 teams of 14 and under, and then the 15 and older. And so it's a lot of fun. We always look for volunteers and people to come out and cheer for the kids. Do you have any questions? Oh, yes, sorry. This year we're asking for 1965. That covers the uniforms, the trophies, and the equipment.
I have a question, Madam Chair.
Yes.
The uniforms and trophies are approximate. Do you?
Yes.
You don't have a final number on those? Or is it just waiting? Does that depend on how many kids you have?
It does. It really depends on how many kids we have to buy uniforms for and trophies. I know that we have already bought our helmets this year. The helmets are a really important part of our teams because we request the grills to be in front of the face because we have had some injuries before, and then also the straps. So that's what we got new this year.
Okay.
How much? Yes. go ahead.
Rochelle, the uniforms are approximate because they are talking to us about they're having trouble getting shipments in. So it's kind of dependent on what they can get also
Gotcha.
for our league and for the Challengers League.
Okay, that makes sense. And sorry, I just assume when Christine, I'm sorry, I just called you by your last name, like we're bros, sorry. When they submit, you just send an invoice for what it actually costs, and that's, okay, reimbursable. Okay, so I would make a motion to approve up to 1965 with the invoices, obviously what it actual cost when it's done.
So moved by Rochelle with up to 1965 and seconded by Brenda. All in favor? Oh, go ahead, Brenda.
Aren't all of our bids that way? That we pay
Yeah,
them
that's what I was
when
just
we-
making sure, since it was approximate. I didn't know for sure. Yeah,
We only pay.
we
up.
only reimburse
Right.
up to, yeah.
All in
Great.
favor?
Do you have a question?
Hi.
I'm gonna abstain.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Motion approved and Steve abstained. Okay. Consider approval for a Southwest Wyoming BMX outdoor track request. Steve and Ledford.
Yes, we don't get the whole list.
So Brad, I have a question. Where is this at? Do you know? Because it's not identified in the grant request. I know it's not you, but
Yeah. I would assume, I haven't read through their application, but we did enter a lease with the BMX club to lease out the bike park down at Stratton Myers that's kind of fallen in disrepair. They're going to try to fix it up and have an outdoor track, but I can't really speak for their grant though. But yeah, that's
confirm
where
those.
I would assume it would be at Stratton Myers Park.
Years ago, there was a BMX.
Yeah, so
course
the
by
lease states that they can take half of the existing bike park, build a track for their club, and then they have to maintain a kind of a pump track for the public. So we can still offer what we have there.
Brad, a real quick question. Who's gonna take responsibility and maintenance?
In the lease agreement, they have responsibility for it.
They have full responsibility
Mhm.
for maintaining it?
Yeah, for their outdoor track, yes.
Okay.
That's why we leased it to them.
Well, I had some questions. I was hoping somebody would be here to answer them, but is this a one-time request? Is this an ongoing thing? How does that work?
I can't see. I would assume that it's a one-time request, but I don't know for sure. But I would assume it's to get their thing off the ground.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chairwoman, I'm gonna make a request that we table this. I have a lot of questions that I don't think can be answered.
Okay, so we have a motion to table it. Oh,
Yeah, before were they aware we were having our meeting tonight?
I believe so.
They were? Yes. Yeah, I have questions too, and it's not fair to have Brad answer them. These people ain't answering.
Did do a good job though.
Yeah, he did. Bang up job. And I don't have a problem to facilitate this if you guys agree that we put it on the April board meeting, even though it's a rec request, but I think we can do that. I hate to delay it, the project. There might have been, who knows what happened, but you guys agree?
I agree.
yeah, I think table
Yeah,
it.
it
There's
just needs
too many
tabled tonight.
questions.
Okay,
That was the motion.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. So,
Table it to the April.
okay, we'll
board meeting.
table it to the April board meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Okay, consider approval for the Sweetwater Aquatics Team Project 150 request, Lynn Clark and Robbie Lee. Or just Robbie.
Just me, I guess.
I want Lynn.
Me
I want
too.
Lynn up here.
What's that?
I want Lynn.
You want Lynn? You want her to talk? Yeah, you should. What we're requesting is $6,000, broke up into two pieces. One is $2,000 for equipment. That equipment is used not just for the Sweetwater Aquatic teams, but for the middle school teams and the high school teams. We found that a lot of the equipment that we use is joint equipment, and they get some equipment, we get some equipment. So whether it's parachutes or bungees or whatever it is to help the training of those athletes, it's just been worn out. We did come here and we got a grant in 2014. And we ended up spending all that or a large portion of that by 2016. We haven't been back. Over that time, this was a lot of the equipment that we purchased during that time, and it's just ran its course of use and wear and tear. The other piece is for $4,000 to help us put on a camp. We found that with COVID and everything that's going on out there, our numbers, we had great numbers before COVID. COVID hit, our numbers dropped, just like everybody else. And people kind of put swimming on the back burner. They're not as involved in swimming in that. What we found in the past is if we can get some camps or even get an Olympian come here, we get some enthusiasm with swimming. It just goes over to the swim program at the rec center. It also brings and helps us recruit more kids and get more kids into the program. And that's where that request is. That's just a portion of the cost to bring in an Olympian or to a larger camp into Green River on that. And in the past, when we did this, we saw great numbers. We saw a lot of kids come in. We saw kids come in from different parts of the state to participate in these. And it's really nice and it's a good piece. Do I have any questions?
I wonder, is the 4,000, is that your total cost? Or are you guys funding part of the
No,
camp?
we'll fund part of it. Usually
does it cost?
it depends on who we get, because obviously the more recognizable Olympian, goes up, but we found it goes between $5,000 to $6,000.
And then are the kids charged to attend too?
Yeah, what we found is, I know in the past, the rec board likes to see the Sweetwater County kids kind of go to these camps for free. What we found is when we do camps like this, you can only have so many spots because it just limits the amount of exposure and how much the kids get out of the camp. And we have kids sign up and then they don't show up. And so that's kind of a real hard piece, because you have kids that want to come to the camp, want to pay, for the camp, and then their spots are taken. So what we like to do is we like to have the Sweetwater County kids actually participate, pay a little bit of a fee into the camp just to hold their spot and to make sure they're going to participate.
Well, I have a question. Has the rec, because I'm a rookie, has the rec board funded this camp before?
Actually, yes. In 2014, that we were actually the first club that came in and were recognized to get a grant from the rec board here. What that did is it allowed us, as the new pool was being built, it allowed us to bring in, we brought in 2 Olympians. The Olympians at that time toured all the schools, made a big appearance. It was great. We had them at almost every elementary school and the middle school at that time. Then they put on a 2-day camp for us.
And that just exposed everybody to swimming and that. And then we didn't put on another camp. We actually brought in the University of Utah on our own. Mesa has been here a few times. So we have brought in other people. We did on our own bring in another Olympian, but that was when our numbers were at 135 kids, not at the 65 that we're at now.
Question. Will you guys have scholarships available perhaps for people that maybe can't afford the camp?
We always look at that. I mean, we look at every situation, for the kids, and it's for the kids.
Yeah, I would just say, I would hope you'd err on the resident kid as opposed to the non-resident.
Oh, absolutely.
Not that I'm against non-residents. I just think this money should be spent.
Absolutely. A lot of the time what you find is we'll open it up to our kids first and try to fill as many spots as you possibly can with our kids. And then after that, then we open it up to everybody else.
Any other questions?
All motion. To accept.
Moved by Mark, seconded by Brenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion's
Good luck.
approved. Thank you. Okay, next, we have consider approval of the district activities request, Tony Beardsley.
Gotta move this down. Thanks, Robbie. Good evening, Rec Board Chair Castilian, Vice Chair Sanders, and the Rec Board, and Superintendent Behringer. The Activities Department would like to request 3 items on this first agenda here. Major equipment items, starting with our first item is new wind nets for the tennis courts. Ours are bad and we can't even use them all. These new wind nets would have our logo on them and they would say like Wolves Tennis. So they'll be really neat. So we need those new nets. The second item I'd like to request, those nets would not exceed $5,250. The second major item I'd like to request is courtside runner rugs and a cart for those. So at our home basketball games and home wrestling duels, where our team benches are, we would lay out these rugs and they'd have our logo on the end. What happened during our wrestling tournament is we have 2 mats in the main gym, and then we have to put chairs through the center. So I'm asking for 4 rugs actually, so that when we have a major event in our main gym, we can roll out those rugs with our logo on it and the chairs will sit on those. Much easier than using tarps. It'll look really cool and we'll take care of the gym floor. And then those would not exceed $7,750. And then major equipment item number 3 is a new set of main gym sideline chairs with a cart. So our chairs, our cushion chairs with the logos that we use at home events in the main gym are getting in bad shape. So I'll move those and we'll start using those in the auxiliary gym. So we're looking for a new set of sideline chairs for the main gym. The total request for those 3 major items would not exceed $20,000. So I'm asking for your approval for that. Tony, I just had one question on the nets. Are those going to remain up all the time or are they going to come down in the winter months? Or? They would still have to come down. So they would go up in the, they'd be going up about now and they'd stay up through October, November, and then they'd come down for about 3 or 4 months. But as you drive by the tennis courts here at Lincoln, or if you drive by, you'll see them and it'll be really neat looking because they'll have the logos on them and everything. And so not just getting the regular, windscreens, these will be really neat looking and I think they'll look nice. So
This is probably a really dumb question, but is it to protect the tennis players from the wind?
I would tell you that I have talked to pro tennis players that are from windy areas and they're like, you don't need wind nets. But most places have the wind nets. They do help a little bit as you're playing and they block some of the major wind right there directly where you're at. And so I don't know the specific answer as if they are something that is a major need, but I do know that I don't know of a tennis court without them. And they actually, Mr. Core, make 2 kinds. So I have to, I'm going to be looking at that. They make what they call 30% wind whatever they call that, and then one that allows for 70% of the wind to go through, which is probably what we need. But I put that cost in here because that was a little bit more.
And then while we're discussing the wind, I know that there's been a lot of complaints about the wind on the top row at Wolf Stadium during games. Is there a way we could look into possibly putting a wind deflection deal there that
That'll
say
come.
maybe Wolf Stadium on it or whatever, but
I
I don't have
already
to do that now, but
I have that idea. I wasn't going to hit you up on that yet. So my next thought is along the stadium up there where Steve's talking about the football stadium, the top, you can actually, they'll make wind netting for that helps a little, and you can have your logos on it. Looks really nice. That would be down the road. Yes.
Okay.
So anyway, I was just asking approval for these 3 items.
I'm sure I'll make a motion to approve the 3 requests not to exceed 20,000.
Okay, moved by Steve, second by Brenda. Any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is approved. Next, we have consider approval of the Wolf Stadium turf replacement.
He's got one more.
Oh.
That wait, the rest.
I skipped it. Okay, sorry. Oh, wait, what
It's
one?
just part of this.
Oh, sorry. Go
Wait.
ahead.
Thank you, Chairman
On a
Castillo.
separate item, sorry.
Not a problem at all. The Activities Department would like to request funding that would start in the 2022-2023 school year. And it would be a recurring cost if we went with this to fund more staffing for our weight training program. And so if you look at the memo in front of you, we currently have the summer head strength coach, and that's all we have. And our coaches then, whoever heads that up, they actually split that 3 ways. As part of our extra duty salary committee that we've had over the last couple of months talking about salaries, we've discussed how I've proposed some of these weight room positions within that. And we got to thinking as we went through it that, this may be something, I got to thinking this may be something that would be good to ask from the rec mill. So what I'm asking for is to keep the summer head strength coach. So that one's already intact. And the rec board already puts in $5,000 a year that's recurring towards that. So what I'm asking for is another $32,248, not to exceed $35,000 based on who knows if those salaries will be exactly like that when we go to negotiate and all that. But for 2 assistants for the summer, a head spring strength coach, and a summer Lincoln Middle School head and assistant strength coach. Thunder Basin has a similar setup, not quite the same, that feeds into Thunder Basin High School in Gillette. What this would do is give us, I had a lot of complaints last year because we weren't offering a middle school program. And what it'll do is help us make sure that we are offering the type of program that will take care of 900 plus students would be the goal. We don't know if we'd end up getting every single athlete 6 through 12, but that's the goal here. So this is asking to create the staffing that it would take to create an extremely comprehensive and outstanding strength, speed, and conditioning program for our students. And it would could benefit up to 900 students, 6 through 12, if they all were to take part. So basically I am asking for $32,248, not to exceed $35,000 for this extra staffing.
Tony, would the LMS stuff be held at LMS or would it be at the high school weight room? Or what?
I believe it would be held at LMS. That has not been decided, but the idea is that they're more comfortable down there. We would also try to employ probably an LMS coach, teacher, that type of thing for that position. and an assistant, just because they know those kids, they'll recruit those kids, so on and so forth. But the idea is that it will take place at LMS so that we could free up the high school weight room to have many sessions for the girls, female athletes, sessions for possibly athletes that are in team sports, and have multiple sessions during the day. If someone can't come in the morning, they could come in the evening. And so that's the idea there. Any other questions?
Do you know about how many kids participated in the weight program last summer, or do they keep count?
You know, it wasn't too bad last year, but we have about the last couple of years, the year before wasn't great because of COVID, but they start out with around 110 kids in the high school, and it works its way down a little bit. We only offered one session last year, which did not help.
Mhm.
And probably no excuse for that, to be honest with you, but offering multiple sessions and offering a session for female athletes that may not be as comfortable going in there with a football player throwing the weight around. Believe it or not, they're more comfortable going in there like that. I think offering the multiple sessions will help. But we have some 900 students that could benefit from this if we make it work correctly. I don't know that many would, but that's a lot.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve this request on a 1-year only basis for $35,000, and that Tony come back to us next year and give us a report on the numbers.
Is that Dave? Okay, so that's moved by Steve, second by Dave, to approve it on a 1-year basis. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now on to your next one.
Now you put some work in front of me now. I got to make sure this works good. Good.
Uh-huh.
Thanks a lot.
Give us some numbers. Okay, consider approval of the Wolf Stadium turf replacement.
Yeah, so actually in our meeting, when we were approaching our school board agenda meeting, Doug Hamill brought it up, actually thought about it, but our turf field is down here at the stadiums getting matted down. We're having a hard time making it, stay nice. So the district activities and facilities department would like to request approval from the rec board to move forward with the planning process for the replacement of the Wolves Stadium field turf. The replacement of the field turf would take place next year in the summer of 2023. The final cost estimates will be forwarded to the rec board once they are received by Doug and I, with the goal that these cost estimates will fall in line and in place with the available 2022-23 rec mill funds that are earmarked for the replacement. So we're asking to start to move on this with the idea that it's going to fall within the cost of the money that we have earmarked, and we would like to replace the field turf next summer.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
I don't.
Can I get a motion?
Needed to say that. I was going to make a motion. I'll make a motion that we begin this process. The public needs to know that this board has set aside $57,000 each fiscal year for the last 8 or 9 years, knowing that this was going to happen. So I think the fortitude of the board to think ahead is the reason why we're in a position where we can do this. So I just so the public knows.
Second.
Okay, moved by Steve, seconded by Brenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's approved.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Thank you. Consider approval of the Truman Elementary marquee.
That will be Mr. Asselmeyer.
Oh, okay.
Chair Castilian, Superintendent Berenger, Board of Trustees, Truman would like a marquee out front to display kind of our building activities and what's going on, some different district things also. We're in a pretty high traffic area there. We're a Title I school, so we have some different activities than some of the other buildings or additional activities. Our gym is used for some of the wrestling and basketball and things like that. So we would just like a way to, another way to communicate with the community there. So I'll field any questions you guys have, or,
Where would you put it?
oh, street names are hard.
Crossbow, Shoshone?
So out in front of the building, there's that triangle of grass there. So kind of on is it East Teton and Crossbow or East, I believe.
Mhm.
That's my vision for it anyway. Doug will have to help with the logistics and that sort of thing. So that's my vision.
Okay, any other comments or questions?
I'm opposed to this, and the reason why is we caught a lot of flack about the sign that we put in front of Lincoln and Monroe and the brightness of it from the neighbors. And I just don't think we should be putting a marquee, a lighted one in a residential area, which is what this is. So
I think you can set timers on those. Can you not, Doug?
I just think it's light. It's a light issue for me, so I'm not in favor of it. Because next is going to be Harrison and Washington, and you talk about a neighborhood. I just don't think the need for it. That's just my opinion.
So I can't personally speak to the light aspect of it. I'm sure that there's ways to turn it off or dim it in the evenings or that sort of thing. Like I said, as a title school and as a school that's, used for some activities and things like that, I would just like another way to communicate with the community, but absolutely I respect your opinion there.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I know we have the same problem where I work as the light issue, but we have set it on a timer, so we just turn it off. So not to annoy our neighbors
Sure.
too terribly.
And on the kind of the flip side of that, we are in an area or in a place there where a lot of our Truman families can see that area. So I really think that would be an issue with light that we can probably solve, but also a good opportunity for us to get something that a fair amount of our families can see from their house, basically. So I see your point, though. I do.
I'd make a motion to approve.
By Rochelle, second by Brenda. All in favor? Oh,
I want to, this is probably going to pass, and I'm okay with that, but I want to make sure that as part of the rec mill that you are promoting Green River High School activities on that sign, promoting middle school activities on the sign. That's part of the recreation part of this.
Sure,
So,
absolutely.
okay.
Mr. Beardley communicates regularly that, some of those activities and that sort of thing, they come to me, they come to our office staff, and I would ask you to call me personally if we're not doing what you want done with it.
I'll call Bears of it. And Behringer.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion is approved.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay. With that, thank you everyone for your applications and keeping the kids busy.
I would just say that I really appreciate the applications we received from the city of Green River. Very professionally done, easy to read. Some of these applications are difficult to read because they're handwritten, but I appreciate you doing that.
Thank you. We'll adjourn our meeting.
Coach Wisniewski, could you lead us in the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And we will start with a presentation from Ms. Hodges. Ms. Hodges? Mrs. Hodges? Ms. Hodges, come on up.
She is.
Roll the video, I guess.
Are you ready for you guys are ready for the video?
Yes, please.
Okay.
This Music in Our Schools Month, our Green River music educators wanted to highlight the outstanding support we have from our district and community. Music education in Green River begins at our elementary schools. Every single student from junior kindergarten through 5th grade receives music education from the 3 general music teachers at Truman, Harrison, Washington, Monroe, McKinnon, and Granger. Each school has xylophones, metallophones, glockenspiels, world drums, hand drums, and more small percussion than can be counted. Students learn through play, creating music and movement. Students learn music literacy, but also so much more. When asked what they love most about music, Truman 5th grader Avery Mays said, "The thing that I love about music is that it can be super calming. Also, if I feel sad, it sometimes makes me feel happy. I love that there are different kinds of music too. Sometimes I find music that talks to me, and it makes me feel like I could do anything." Lincoln Middle School has students in band, choir, and general music. Our 6th grade band numbers have increased in 3 years from 35 students in 2019 to currently 75. In 7th grade, we have 35 musicians who work separately in 2 different classes. In 8th grade, there is a small but mighty group of 24 that play in all styles, including symphonic, rock, swing, and Latin. This group also improvises solos for each concert. Not pictured is the general music classes that create connections between musical foundations in their everyday lives. Our district choir program starts in middle school and continues through high school. There are 2 mixed grade choirs at Lincoln Middle School with a total of 57 students. There are 4 choir classes at the high school. Chorale has 20 students, Pack and Harmony has 11 students, Treble Choir has 18 students, and Concert Choir has 10 students. Each group performs at concerts and festivals throughout the school year. 1 high school choir student was selected for this year's Wyoming Allstate Choir. The high school instrumental program includes many different ensembles. In the fall, the marching band has about 62 students who perform at halftime shows, the UW Marching Band Invitational, and the Wyoming State Marching Band Festival, where they received a rating of excellent this school year. When marching band season is over, the ensemble transitions to a symphonic band that performs at concerts and festivals throughout the state. This year, 2 Green River band students were selected to perform for the Wyoming All-State Band. Green River High School's music program also includes a percussion ensemble with 14 students, Jazz Band 1 with 17 students, and Jazz Band 2 with 19 students.
And now we have a couple performances for you. So we have, Pack and Harmony is going to perform first, a vocal group, and then we'll have an instrumental jazz combo.
circle around a little bit.
If we could read the proclamation for Music in Our Schools Month.
Yes. Okay, there's a resolution, whereas for more than 30 years, March has been officially designated by the National Association for Music Education as Music in Our Schools Month, encouraging communities across the nation to focus on music education. Whereas music education is a part of a well-rounded education for every student as outlined in the Every Student Succeeds Act. And whereas the purpose of this celebration is to raise awareness for the lasting positive impact of music education on the academic, personal, and professional growth of our students. And whereas music education shapes the way our students understand themselves and the world around them, allowing for a deep engagement with learning. And whereas Music in Our Schools Month reminds us that school is where children should have access to music. And whereas music educators, students, and communities throughout Wyoming demonstrate the importance of quality music education programs to the lives of young people. And whereas the state of Wyoming joins our music students, educators, and communities in celebrating the power of music education. Now, therefore, let it be resolved, the Sweetwater County School District Number 2 does hereby proclaim on March 8th, 2022 as Music in Our Schools Month and encourages our citizens to celebrate and acknowledge every day, but especially in March, that music education is an essential part of every student's well-rounded education. Okay. I'd like to say that is amazing. I'm never less than impressed with the music abilities in our school and what the talent that our community holds. And you guys rock, amazing musicians, and don't ever give it up. Keep doing it. But, okay.
Thank you
so
for
much.
your support, because we could not do it without your support. So thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Okay. Sorry. Now we have a presentation from Sharon Seaton from Expedition Academy.
Madam Chair, Superintendent Berenger, members of the board. Boy, if we just had a dinner served, this would be a perfect board meeting. I'm here to introduce our computer science and math programs education teacher, Ms. Sharon Seaton. She's this is her first year with us here at Expedition Academy. Done a great job with our students this year. It's our first year of having computer science with our students. They're here to show you some of the things that they've built and done throughout the course of this year. They are extremely nervous. This is probably the biggest crowd they have ever been in front of. But I am so proud of the exceptional work, the perseverance that these kids bring to school and to my life each day. So without any further ado, here's our computer science and math program students.
Thank you, Mr. Obrey. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the school board, Superintendent Berenger, and members of the community. I have with me tonight some students from Expedition Academy who are here to show you some of the projects that we've done in our consumer math classes and also our computer science 1 class. So I'm going to let our first student, Delaney, go ahead and start us off.
Hi, I'm Delaney. I'm a senior at Expedition High School, and I was in consumer and computer science. I built an EV3 robot in computer science, and then I had to build a house from scratch out of middle of nowhere and figure out how I'm going to get water, how I'm going to get rid of my sewage, and how to get power in my house. I want to grab my house. So this is my house. This right here is my well for my water. And then on top of my house, I have about like 10 solar panels for power and electricity. And then on the side of my house, you might see this funny looking thing. This is my septum tank, and it's supposed to be under the house, but I want y'all to see it. And it's supposed to feed my garden to keep it healthy and all that. And then with my well, I have a filter to like reuse my water so it doesn't go to waste. And to build a house off grid is very expensive. Let's just say that. I think that's it for my house. I want to grab my EV3. the one that's on. So I would show you my EV3 moving, but it decided to update. So it's not working. But I do have a code that took me a while to figure it out because I wanted it to connect to the black line to follow it. So for my code, I had to make a new block from scratch. And then, okay. And then
It's kind of little.
yeah. So then I use these forever blocks that keep the code going. And then I had to program it to my sensors that are on the bottom of my EV3 that are glowing in the front, but they're not on. And then in the back are my motors that move my EV3. And to find the code to make it move was very hard. I went through about 6 codes to figure it out. And then at the end, I decided I should build my own block and then set up my code that way. And it finally worked. Any questions?
Good job.
Good job.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Updating. Yeah.
That's what Dr. Foose needs to do is update.
Hi, I am Shania Allen, and I'm a junior at Expedition Academy, and I was in Miss Eaton's Consumers Math class. And I also built a house, which from the looks of it is very green, if you can tell. With this project, I learned a lot, like how adulting is very expensive and so is building a house and trying to find a sustainable place to build it. I have a well, which is for a good, reliable source of underground water. I have solar panels in order to keep my house running. I have a garden for like a sustainable feeding place. And I based mine off in Iceland. So I knew where rivers were based on an area geographically that I wanted to put it. And over here I have my septic tank, which would obviously be underground, but you guys need to see it. But that would be my house.
Nice.
All right. Hello, I am Christian. Can you guys hear me? I'm Christian Swanson.
Can you move the mic up? She can't hear you over there, Lover. Thank you.
I'm Christian Swanson. I'm a junior from Expedition Academy. I was in Miss Ian's consumer math class, computer science. Sorry, I'm a consumer now. So I built the Mechanode. That took 3.5 weeks to build. One of the main challenges to build the Mechanode was to get everything to actually fit. It was a pain. One of the main problems to learn in coding class was to actually code. Building Java and building any program to actually run something or build something to actually run was the main key problem in most of the problems. So you would get one thing to go to some other place, and that just took code after code. And I would love if Miss Seaton would demonstrate the Mechanode giving her a hug. Yeah, oh yeah. You are. Yeah, oh yeah. All right, for it to give you a hug, you would just say, please give me a hug. I guess.
So one of the things with these robots is if you don't interact with it for long, it goes on its own. It runs on its own. So the words are, give me a hug.
Yes.
Mechanode, give me a hug.
If that one doesn't work, just tell it to shake your hand.
It's practicing social distancing. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Mechanode, walk with me. Walk with me.
So one of the problems with building the Mechanode was getting the actual wires to connect to the right thing. There's a lot. Yeah, there's no set time. He just goes ham. No, just turn them off. Right. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. Great job.
I'm Jackson. I'm a sophomore at Expedition Academy. I was in
Can you pull your mic down a little bit? Sorry.
I'm Jackson. I was a sophomore at, or I am a sophomore at Expedition Academy. I was in Mrs. Seaton's computer science class, and I built the same robot, a Mechanode robot. After taking this class, I pretty much learned a lot about coding and Java and having to debug stuff. That was my biggest trouble with the coding part. But the biggest challenge with that is the arms, because the white parts, like where the bicep is supposed to be, it has to be like that. If not, it just doesn't work right. And I had to switch it around 9 different times to finally get it. And it made me want to punch the robot. But I overcame that by watching at least two different videos. And even then it took me 9 different times. And the coding part, I had to get help from Miss Seaton to give me a little bit of hints, and then without further just now what to do. Just have him do a dance. Do a dance.
Is it Mechan? Did you do Mechanode first? Yeah. Go ahead, dance with me. Dance with me.
Dance with me. Stick on.
I think that's kung fu. Yeah.
Oh.
All right, so with that then, the plan is we're going to expand the program next year to Green River High School. So our Green River High School students will also have the same opportunities that our EA students have. This quarter, we started a Computer Science 2 class, which will delve more into network communications, Python programming, C++ programming, and cybersecurity. So thank you all very much.
Nice. That's amazing. Good job. I am going to make one quick announcement that there is no water in this building. Please do not use the bathroom. So I should have said that earlier. So if you did, let Craig know afterwards. That's amazing. Good job, guys. Okay, now we have Miss Colleen Seelock here with the Allstate Boy Swimmers.
That's a pretty hard act to follow. I don't know if I can do what that did. And thank you for letting us come tonight and allowing me to present some pretty amazing boys. Our team this year took fourth place, nine points out of third. I'm very proud of their accomplishments this year. We lost a whole bunch of really good guys last year. And so we were rebuilding this year, and we kind of knew this is how it was going to be. So to even be in for the top 3 was pretty amazing for this group. And we ended up qualifying 16 out of 19 athletes on our team. So we had a really good group of freshmen that came in with not much experience, but a whole lot of gumption, and they worked hard and listened and ended up just contributing to the team and doing really well at the end of the season. So we ended up this year with 4 of our 4 athletes with Allstate honors. Our first one is a swimmer, and he's wanted me to introduce him first because he has to go to work. So, but we have Brady Young, who at conference was a conference champion in the 500 freestyle, is one of the fastest 500 freestylers in Green River history. He's very close to being to the top, and hopefully he'll make it there next year. Broke a conference record. So he is a conference record holder for our 3A. So did a great job there. Was second or third at conference in his 200 freestyle, swam amazing. Also at state, he was third in the 200 freestyle and was second in the 500 freestyler, well under 5 minutes and well under his best time last year. So had an amazing year, and just really proud of all of his accomplishments this year. Did a great job. So our next one, did I forget anything? Okay, our next one is Braxton Cordova. Braxton is a 2-time state champion in diving. So he repeated this year and was absolutely amazing to watch. And, we got to do something very rare, and that was take first, second, and third at state in diving. And so Braxton was the leader of that group. So Braxton broke 1 school record, 2 pool records in diving this year. Just had a great, great season. Did really well at conference. Won that also. So has all conference and all state honors also. So did a great job for us. Next we have River Kurtz. River was our 3rd place diver at second at conference, 3rd at state, and earned all state honors and all conference honors, and just improved a lot this year too. And again, was part of that trio, and they were something to reckon with and something to watch this year. They did such a great job. And then we have Kyle Kite, or Wright, as it was on his on his certificate thing. So, but Kyle Kite took second at state, earning him all conference honors. Took third at conference, earning him all conference honors, and did a great job for us this year. And these guys have been quite the trio. With a couple of other divers, we had 5 divers that were qualified this year, and just did an amazing job all throughout the season. So just really proud of their accomplishments. I also want to recognize my assistant coach, who also earned Assistant Coach of the Year honors for placing those 3 divers. And he has just been amazing. Him and I have worked together for a long time, and he's still waiting for me to retire so he can retire from this, and because that was a deal. So he's still waiting, but he won that. I think you won it last year too. So this is 2 years in a row that he's gotten Assistant Coach of the Year. So congratulations to him too. So, but anyway, whoops. Is it working now? Okay. I just want to take a quick minute to say that was amazing, EA, the stuff that they're doing. I taught computer science. I don't know if you guys, some of you may remember, a long time ago. And I really enjoyed that until the program got cut. So I'm just really excited to see that coming back and seeing the kids excited and the new technology that they're getting to work with. And of course, math, I like that stuff. So I was excited to see that tonight. So it was a good night to get to come. But And so I wanted to congratulate you on a great season. Wrestling, you guys did an awesome job. I was watching and pulled it out. So congratulations on that. And anyway, but thank you for letting me talk about these amazing boys. And next year we will be back with a vengeance, I promise you. So, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have Mr. Josh Woznicki with the Allstate Wrestlers.
All right. Madam Chair, board members, Superintendent Berenger, thanks for having us. I'm very proud of our wrestling team this year. We did pretty well when it came regional and state time. We took second at regionals with 9 placers. We were open in 2 weight classes. We took 15 wrestlers to state. We placed 8 of them with 3 open weight classes. And took third as a team at state by a half point. So, missing those open weight classes, I feel like we really turned it on when we needed to, and kids stepped up and wrestled our best at the end of the season, which is the way it's supposed to be. I've had the privilege and honor to coach these amazing student athletes. They worked so hard this season and did everything they were asked to be successful on the mat. It was a relief to get back to some normalcy and have a more traditional wrestling season. Thank goodness. I'm happy to introduce and recognize the amazing accomplishments of our 3 All-State wrestlers, and also introduce my assistant coach, Eric Wright. His wife jokes that he's my coach wife. I think that's what she said last weekend, right? Where's your coach wife at? Coach Eric and I have, we've known each other since we were rivals back in high school, and we wrestled on the same college wrestling team, and we've been coaching together forever. So we're happy to have him on our staff. Not only did these wrestlers help guide us to a Tolman title, a 3A West regional runner-up, and a 3rd place finish at the 3A state championships, they're just great student athletes and people. My first All-Stater, sophomore Spencer Wright. He finished the season with a 34-8 record. Spencer was awarded the Bill Tolman Spirit Award for his character and work ethic. He was awarded Wrestler of the Week by his teammates the 2nd week of January and didn't miss a single practice all year, which is quite an accomplishment. Spencer earned Outstanding Wrestler for his weight class at the Wasatch Intermountain Duels and placed 5th at the Ronthon Memorial Tournament in Riverton. He placed 3rd at the 3A West Regional Championship and wrapped up the season with a 2nd place finish at the 3A State Championship, which also awarded him All-State. Spencer had a match in the quarterfinals at the state tournament that I will probably remember for the rest of my life. I don't know how many times your heart rate could go up and down within 30 seconds of a match, but mine was going like this. It's pretty bad when you got to tell your athletic director to calm down behind you. But he got it done. It was very exciting. My next student athlete I want to introduce is Kale Kanesvich. He finished the season with a 31-8 record. Kale also led our team in 3 major statistical categories this year: most tech falls, which with 4, which broke a team record; most reversals with 23, and most near fall with 101 near fall, also breaking a team record. Kale was also awarded Wrestler of the Week by his teammates for his efforts leading up to regionals. Kale was picked best of the best at the Tolman Invitational, placed 5th at the Ronthon Memorial Tournament. He is now a 2-time 3A West regional champion, giving him all conference honors, and claimed his 2nd 3A state title, earning him All-State. So he had a heck of a season. My last wrestler I want to introduce is junior Tommy Dalton. He finished the season with a 41-5 record. Tommy is a team captain and also led our team in 3 major statistical categories this year: most wins with 41, most falls with 29, and most takedowns with 67. Tommy also achieved his 100th varsity victory this season as a junior. which is quite an accomplishment. Good job, Tommy. Tommy was awarded Outstanding Wrestler in his weight class at the Wasatch Intermountain Duels, which gave him Wrestler of the Week honors from his teammates. He placed 8th at the Reno Tournament of Champions and was 1 win away from placing at the prestigious Stock Buchanan Invite in Fresno, California. Tommy was picked best of the best at the Toman Invitational and claimed his 2nd title at the Ron Thun Memorial Tournament. Tommy won his 3rd regional title in 3 years, giving him all conference recognition, and won his 2nd state title in 3 years, giving him all state honors, pinning his way through both regional and state brackets. Tommy did not allow a single offensive point to be scored on him in the state of Wyoming this season. Quite a feat, huh? I got some pretty good wrestlers up here. So anyways, with all the great accomplishments that they've earned on the mat, what I'm most proud of for them is the character that they exhibit. They're just great kids. They go to school on time, they get good grades, they're coachable, they're respectful, and they work very hard in everything they do. They're the kind of student athletes that you want to be part of your program. Thanks, everybody.
Congratulations, guys. And now we have Mr. Darren Heslop here with the Green River High School Student Council, Make a Wish.
I didn't have a lot to do with this, but our student council certainly did. So I'm going to let Mr. Clerk take all the credit and share all the experiences and the money that was raised through all the events you guys did. Thank you for everything.
Oh yeah, definitely. Good evening. I wasn't really prepared for this, but Make-A-Wish. Make-A-Wish was amazing this year. We beat last year's record by raising $24,970 some odd dollars, which is insane. I can't thank our community and all of you guys enough for the support with that. We're like $700 short of Rock Springs, so we're gonna come back next year, hopefully, and win this time. But I can't thank my student council enough for everything they do. We have about 50 kids that put their heart and soul into raising money for sick kids, and it's amazing. So, but truthfully, it's our community. It's really not me. It's the kids in the community that make that happen. So, yeah.
That's amazing. It's always impressive every year because you guys raise a lot of money pretty quickly. I am a little sad that there's not video of Craig and his tutu. Cheerleading.
I have a lot.
Yeah, but I wanted it tonight to show. Yeah, but we can save that for next time. It's fine. So thank you so much. Very impressive. You guys should be very proud of what you did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am. I'm next, so I'm just gonna stay.
So you can just stay right up there.
Okay. I'm also here to talk about Allstate Student Council. So Alicia Harrison is right here. We have a state conference called WASC. It is held in November of every year. So she's technically the 2021 student council member that won the All-State recognition. In the last 3 years that I've had Alicia, she has dedicated over 400 hours, helped raise $77,000, helped us get 772 pints of blood, with all of the big things that we do. She's put in countless hours, and she's usually my right hand. For the dress up day where we swapped, she's always my little mini me. So I'm very sad she's graduating, but very happy to give her this award. So this 2021 JHS All-State Student Council awarded by the Wyoming Association of Student Councils and myself for her honorary service to the GRHS Student Council.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thanks. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. And we are now at Give Me a Break.
Give me a break. I need a break. Whoops, I had two of them. This month, Tara Adams, Monroe Elementary Nurse. That is going to be one
Oh man,
interesting day.
you better get a lot of Band-Aids.
right, I will let her know.
Oh, glad my kids don't go to that school. No, I'm just kidding.
A lot of kids sick that day.
Okay, now is the time for public comment. And now is the appropriate time for visitors in the audience to be recognized and speak on items both on the agenda and of general concerns of the patrons of Green River Schools. There will be a limit of 3 minutes for an individual and 5 minutes for a group spokesperson. No speaker shall speak more than twice on any issue. The board is legally obligated to maintain confidentiality concerning district personnel, and therefore matters concerning district personnel will not be discussed. Do we have any public comment this evening?
Thank you, Madam Chair and Superintendent Behringer and Board of Trustees. So we didn't get this done until last week late, and therefore we didn't put it on the agenda. We thought we'd let you know through the public comments. But if you recall, part of our ESSER funds need to be spent on initiative to provide support to our staff, our families, and our students in regards to social emotional needs. And therefore, in listening to a lot of the folks that came here on public comments in the past, as well as in our committee work around the ESSER funds, some great ideas were kind of coming around, and we thought we needed to really take the lead on a couple of those and make them happen for our families. And therefore, we just wanted to let you know that we've just recently had 2 counselors that we're going to be changing their title a little bit and allowing them to have the flexibility to be parent counselors, family counselors, available to staff if they're needed to be. Their schedule is going to look a little different in that they may need to be working in the evenings versus, bright and early in the morning. But really trying to address a need that's been identified in our community where our families aren't able to get into therapy. They're not able to get a variety of counseling services because there's just such a need that our folks are overwhelmed. Those agencies that are trying to provide those services, as well as really focusing on a family approach and being able to support our families with whatever their need might be. It might be grief. It might be a tough situation that they're dealing with in their homes, might be a difficult child that is going through some things and they just need somebody to talk to. Or it might just be to act as a liaison to provide them with other resources that are available in our community for a variety of reasons. So again, we've got 2 individuals, Sarah Malakote from Washington, as well as Shannon Berhacek from the high school are going to be serving in those roles. We're excited to have them. We had some great folks come meet with us and tell us kind of what they had for a vision for this. But we're also going to be looking at having it be in the Jackson School building. We've got some space in there, but really so folks can be comfortable going to a different environment than maybe their child's school or central office where, it's a personal thing and we want to make sure that we keep it that way. So anyways, we thought we needed to let you know that's kind of how some of our ESSER funds are going to be used for that social emotional component, but among others. But obviously, this is brand new, and we'll be hiring some new counselors to fill in their shoes. So, any questions?
No, I think that's great. Awesome. We need it in this community. So good use of funds. Okay, anyone else? Go ahead.
See if I can reach it. Good evening, Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, and Superintendent Behringer. I'm just here to try to shout out some serious kudos to our technology department. We have 5 amazing individuals that go above and beyond and help all of the departments in the school succeed. I know the hurdles I've had in transportation would have been more than monumental had I not had Aaron there holding my hand and coming up with all the solutions to make all of this new technology work. I can tell you today, I was jumping for joy when I did my inventory and it was only off $3 on fuel. Like, that's a gallon. So I just it was $3.34. So that's pretty much what my diesel cost this week. So I just don't think that they hear it enough, how amazing they are. And I'd be lost without them. So I know everybody else in this district is the same way. So I just wanted to stand up and shout out some praise. So thank you
so much. We appreciate it. Good job, guys. Okay, do we have anyone else? Okay, we will move on. So I need approval of the agenda. Moved
Second.
by Brenda, second by Steve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Approval of consent agenda items. Is there anything anyone would like to take off or talk about? Nope, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Tom, second by Ashley. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, Ms. Russo, we have you for update on legislative forum and session.
Thank you. First, I want to thank our staff for the presentation with our legislators beforehand. I think that was very helpful to lead into the session in a positive manner. Brian Farmer with the WSBA does a great job keeping us informed of what we need to be talking to our legislators about, where the bills are in the process. We had a great training on Sunday and then the legislative reception on Monday. I would really like to build that relationship more with our local delegation. I think that's what it's all about. I didn't get to communicate with them at that reception, but I did have an opportunity to communicate with others and still shared our views that, the extra savings and all of that. So it was an interesting reception, let's put it that way. So, but I think that building on the positive relationships and what we talked about, really getting them to understand where we're coming from. Senator Driscoll said in the Senate meeting the other day that we want to be transparent as districts, and we do, but they don't understand what posting all of our education material on the website is about. And, we're going to need a full-time person. And what happens when somebody brings in something from outside to have a discussion about, it was an interesting discussion. Anyway, it was well worth the trip, and the roads were horrible coming home again.
I think that was defeated, right, in committee?
It was
62, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Thank you.
disappointed to see 2 Sweetwater County people sponsored that bill, just by the way.
I think that transparency bill got beat today.
Yep.
Gone.
Went down
I
there.
couldn't hear you, Tom.
So anyway, it was defeated in committee. So,
Okay.
Thank you. We always appreciate the work you do with legislature and representing all of us when not everybody can make it. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Reminder of the National School Board Conference, April 2nd through the 4th in San Diego. If you haven't already, you need to get with Mary ASAP. If that's something you want. I think it's too
Doesn't
late
want
for
me
you to
going.
go, but you could try to beg her, but I don't think it'll happen. So then on to discussion of the Granger meet and greet. I wanted to throw out some dates in April. Possibly April 13th or 20th. If that's a Wednesday, I know Tuesdays and Thursdays are difficult for people. So if you want to let us know by maybe the end of the week.
Let's do it now.
Do it now? Okay, what about?
Either day works for me.
me too.
It works for you? You can't do the 20th? Okay, about the 13th?
Sure.
Okay, let's do the 13th. then.
13th.
Okay, done. Thank you very much.
Do that 6 o'clock.
Okay,
Yeah.
13th at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Last time.
Okay, Dr. Foos, I have you up next for approval of certified resignation requests.
Thank you, Madam Chair Morris, Superintendent Berenger, trustees. The resignations coming before you tonight for your approval. We're missing one on that list, and I'll start with that person, Nora Holt, special ed math teacher at Lincoln Middle School. Working from the bottom up, Colt Reese, PE, Green River High School. Christopher Nelson, instructional facilitator, Monroe Elementary. Jill Nelson, STEM teacher, Truman Elementary. Faye Kuros, 5th grade teacher, Harrison Elementary. Jolene Schnackenberg, 5th grade teacher, Harrison Elementary, and Carl Schnackenberg, Lincoln Middle School. And we're sad to see this group of folks leaving us, but thank you for consideration for approval.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ashley, second by Brenda. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And you're up again.
All right, thank you. This part right here is always a little more difficult part, and I think the district owes these folks a huge thank you for their service. Their amount of lives that they've touched over the years is just tremendous. And these are very good people right here before you, embarking on their second journey of retirement. So we have Linda Malone, counselor, Lincoln Middle School, Denise Shears, Monroe Elementary, first grade teacher, and Richard Persfield, counselor at Truman Elementary, who is taking the next step into retirement. And we thank them and wish them the very best. And thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Do I have a motion? Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Ashley. Any discussion? Just want to say thank you for your years of service. You've made a big impact on this community. So thank you. Anyone else? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. And we already did the presentation from Expedition, so we are moving on.
We'll do the new
Okay.
contracts.
Oh, yep. I was just going to skip. right
Madam
past
Chair, if
that.
that's okay.
Yep, you betcha.
So on the consent agenda items, you see the openings, and a lot of those have been filled. Mary had this paperwork in ahead of time, but a lot of these are now off of there on the consent agenda because I'm going to bring them to you right now. But I tell you, I'm really proud of the work that's been done at Lincoln Middle School. The bulk of those are here, but over at Truman, and we're going to have a lot of this stuff shored up at the very next board meeting, and we need to be really proud of that. That's good work, and these are quality folks, so can't say enough there. So for your consideration, Doug Hopkins, music teacher, instrumental at Lincoln Middle School, Kata Elkhorn, sixth grade teacher, Lincoln Middle School, Ryan Bauer, sped math teacher, Lincoln Middle School, Kelsey Martinez, sped behavior program at Lincoln Middle School, and Alex Bailey, counselor, Truman Elementary. And thank you for your consideration and very nice work, everybody out there getting on this and getting done, because that's great stuff for our district and we're in a great spot.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion. We approve these appointments.
Motion by Steve, second by Dave. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, now we will move on to Miss Leah Kennison. You are up with the renewal of last year's RFP for food and non-food commodities.
Madam Chair Morris, Superintendent Behringer, Board of Trustees. We are seeking your approval as part of the Western Wyoming Food Co-op to exercise the renewal option for the second year of 21-22 contract with Nicholas and Company for food, non-food, and commodities for the 22-23 school year. Any questions?
Do I have a motion? Moved by Brenda,
Second.
second by Ashley. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Leah.
JR.
Madam Chair Morris, Superintendent Behringer, members of the board. Our network storage array is up for replacement. It's done its duty, served us well for the last 5 years, but it is time to replace it. This is probably, I would say, top 3 most important pieces of technology in the district. So we are asking for your approval to go out for RFP, and this should not exceed $100,000.
Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Tom, second. Second by Dave. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Doug Hamel.
Thank you, Chairman Morris, Board. Last Thursday, we had a bid opening for the water and ice shield replacement at Green River High School, and in front of you, those are the 2 bids. My recommendation would be Bighorn Roofing out of Laramie, Wyoming.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion. We approve Bighorn Roofing for $107,760.
Okay, from Steve. Second from Tom. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Miss Christine, we have you up next for an update on the budget.
Madam Chair Morris, Superintendent Behringer, and Board of Trustees.
Some of the legislative items you've already talked about, but I did want to give you an update. And as you know, what you just mentioned, Senate File 62 did fail to come out of the House Education Committee. So I think that is good news for us. Senate File 33, where they were going to codify the resource block grant model into the law book, that also failed out of the Senate. 2 Senate files did pass the K-3 reading assessment and intervention program. I'm not an expert on what's in there. If you had any questions on that, I will have to defer those to Mr. Figenzer. And then another one, Senate File 31, absenteeism and truancy passed. Most important to me, I should say, is well into the budget process at least, is House Bill 30, which was actually signed by the governor today, which allows us to increase our reserves for a temporary period of time. And it will help us hopefully get through the next 4 years while we're navigating our stimulus funds. The one other thing I wanted to mention is the external cost adjustment. The partial portion for energy and supplies was approved in the budget bill. And that ECA is cumulative. So they didn't take what they gave us last year away, and they've added to it this year. And for us, that will be a slight increase of about 189,000 in our funding model that will help offset some of our other decreases that I've mentioned with ADM and a health insurance decrease. My message to you today is that with the legislative action on education being complete, we now know that we will use our ESSER funds in tandem with our general fund. A lot of there is an overlap, and we know that there's an overlap. That overlap might be more dominant now to get us through the next 2 to 4 years. So when we work our budget this year, it's going to be working hand in hand, using those stimulus funds to get us through this period of time. So, and we'll be working on that. We're working on that every day. So, but we'll have more information as we go. The one other thing I wanted to mention to you is that as of right now, we really don't know what is going to happen with nutrition services as far as the reimbursement program. One minute we've been told that it's going, the full free meals will not be carried forward for next year. And then we hear that somebody's trying to get it at the national level. Somebody's got a proposal to continue it. So we really don't know right now. We're gonna react as if it's not going to be, and that we will go back to paid meals next year. So until we know differently, that's how we're going to handle that.
Thank you.
So
does anybody have any questions?
Sure.
Chris, assuming we have no need for the budget committee this year, are you recommending that?
I won't recommend that right now. I don't want to say that right now.
Okay.
I hope that they're on standby I think they are, the task force. We haven't dissolved it, but I don't have a plan to get them in the process right now.
Okay.
So.
And I appreciate what you do for the district. I certainly wouldn't call $189,000 an ECA, as they're calling it.
Yeah.
I will mention that the coalition has a Zoom meeting on Wednesday.
Mhm.
I sent that to you. Rochelle and I will be on that call, the Zoom, and it'll be interesting to see what people think. I thought the document that the gentleman gave us the last time we had our Zoom meeting pretty much said it all. Over the last 10 years, we are underfunded in schools by over, I think it was $1 billion. Due to the lack of ECA. So, we'll see what the coalition feels about whether we think the legislature is doing their job as required by the Supreme Court ruling. So it'll be an interesting conversation, I think, on Wednesday.
It will.
Anyone else? Thank you for always keeping us so informed. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Demery, you're up.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Superintendent Behringer and Board of Trustees. So as we've done in the last couple of years, this agreement would be to lease out the Jackson School building and just the square footage that's been allotted to Region 5 BOCES for them to be able to have Roosevelt Learning Center. We still have the entire upstairs and portions of the downstairs that they're not renting out, but we've adjusted it last year to make sure, with Chris's help and Doug's help, to make sure that the district's not losing any money in this agreement, but it is helping them out in quite a way. So it's just to have your approval so we can have them also approve it at their next board meeting this month.
All right, do I have a motion? Moved by Brenda, second by Ashley. Any discussion?
I sit on that BOCES board and they're very grateful for this, and it does help them, and they do a lot of good work there.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, superintendent and board comments. Craig?
I'm going to jump on the old technology bandwagon. I'd like to thank JR and Jean and Daleen and that staff. We switched over to a new website Friday, and this is bringing us a lot closer to the 21st century. They're working on an app now that'll go on the phone. When you look at it now, you may not notice some changes right away, but as this thing evolves, you will see a big difference. It's going to be very user friendly. It's going to be easy to access if you are inputting information in the building. But there's been a lot of hours, and it's similar to like the Lincoln Middle School project remodel. They're putting in the finishing touches with 2 hours to go before school starts, and the deadline, one website went away the 4th and the other one came on the 4th, and they were putting in that same time. So thanks JR and crew for that.
And I will say it does look good. I've been on there, and it does seem a lot easier to navigate and not as much stuff. Yeah. For us old eyes, it's much easier to look at. So I'm going to jump on since I'm talking. Thanks for all the teachers doing parent-teacher conference and all the staff and all the work that goes into that, and the PTOs that feed everybody, and everybody that goes into that. But it's fun to see all the kids in the school and the book fairs going and the elementary schools. And thanks for all the hard work that goes into that. We appreciate it. Good luck, Lady Wolves, this weekend. So hopefully we bring back some wins. And I wanted to touch on a little bit. I've had a lot of folks reach out to me about bullying and issues in the school district and in our community. I think it's definitely not just a school issue. This is something our society is dealing with, and it's not okay. And we have to get on top of it as parents, as community members. If we see something, we need to speak up, even if it's not your kid, and you're out in public and you see them, we need to tell them it's not okay. Check your kids' social media. There are some horrible, terrible things out on TikTok, Instagram, and it's very difficult to find out who these kids are that are posting it, but it's not kind. And I don't want to lose a kid in this district because somebody gets tough behind a keyboard. And to that effect, I also want to give some kudos to Mike Imoni. I had someone reach out to me with their kid having issues at Monroe, and was very pleased with how him and his staff handled it, and it got stopped. And it was handled very well. So thank you for doing that. And I know that the majority of the people in our district, all of our staff, feel the same way. They would step in and help. Please speak up, though. Have your kids speak up. It's not okay. I did speak to, recently there was a story about a kid in Utah, a 12-year-old, who hung himself by his hoodie because of what was happening. And I spoke to his mom last week. And when she is ready, she has said she would come and speak at our district to talk to our students and our staff and our community members about their experience, and hopefully make an impact on some of these kids' lives, that we can put a stop to some of this and slow it down. So thank you for everybody who does the hard work with that. I know it's not easy, but we appreciate it. And it takes a village. Did you want to say something, Laura? Will you come up to the mic? I'm sorry, they can't hear you.
Thank you. So I've been trying to brainstorm at home with my kiddos about what we can do at home.
And from talking to my kiddos at home, I learned about Green River slander. So maybe because the teachers are more of the ears and you guys are more of the ears than a lot. So maybe if we can talk to our kids and then you can talk to parents about what to look for, because as we're parents looking, we don't know what we're looking for. So unless our kids are communicative with us, or unless we know what to look for, it's hard for us to look for. So I know that there's like a Green River slander, student slander site, and there's a Green River teacher slander site that goes around. And I know that I've heard that the school district is trying very hard, and technology tries very hard to combat it and find out who is on it or not on it. But they can't find it. But maybe as a community, we can come together and track this down.
Yeah, and I agree. I'm like, that's why I say, check your kid's phone.
Well, and if
TikTok, Instagram.
If we find out the names, let the parents know what the names to look for are.
I agree.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Okay. Ashley.
Oh, perfect. Well, I can't believe we just have 1 quarter left. Every year things go by so fast. But I hope everybody has a great spring break. I think probably everybody feels it's much needed, and hopefully the weather will be a little bit better. Good luck to the girls basketball team this weekend. And I got to go to a Lincoln Middle School choir concert this last week, and they did such a great job. It was fun to see all the things that they're doing, and they sang in some little groups and really showcased some of their voices. So good job to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Brenda?
Just wanted to say I really appreciate opening the board meeting with the praising our students and recognizing the successes we have in our district. I think that's what we need to focus on. And I think that helps us remember that kindness is the way to go. So that's all.
Thank you. Tom?
Oh, geez, where do you begin? Because this board meeting was evidence that we have an amazing school district. And hats off to our central administration, our administrative team, principals, and everybody that goes along with it for keeping us in school through a pandemic. This is amazing. Not many schools have been able to do that. So hats off to you. Make-A-Wish, Marissa, we do have a great community. Rock Springs should beat us by 2/3 because they have 2/3 more people. But you don't do that without leadership. And Marissa and the people that work on student council need to be praised for that. It started a long time ago, but she's kept us going, and what a great leader she is, and hats off to her. And our music program, evidenced tonight by the performances, but music is an important piece, and we have great music educators in this district, and one's still hanging around somewhere, Bill Hoyt. I don't know where he is at, but I saw his name on Facebook a few times this week. But hats off to our music educators. They do a great job.
Steve?
First, I want to thank the retirees of this district, the years you've spent. Special thanks to Denise Shears, 41.5 years. She taught kids. She taught both my kids at Jackson School, and always enjoyed the parent-teacher conferences with her. They were always pretty interesting. I too want to wish the Lady Wolves good luck this weekend. Speaking of basketball, I had an opportunity this year to be the PA announcer for the Wolves at their home games, and I have never seen the students. It's been a long time since I've seen the students show up to games like they did this year, and the Green River High School marching band just put the topper on it. It was fun to go to Green River Wolves basketball games this year. It was a lot of fun, and I want to thank the students and especially the band for showing up and doing that. I just want to make sure that David, you need to understand, I voted no on the marquee, but I support the decision. The decision of this board was to build the marquee, and I will support that. So don't think don't take it personally. But that's why there's 7 of us, and that's why we each have a vote. I said this many times over the years, there's just got to be no tolerance to bullying. We can't allow it to happen. If we see it, we got to stop it. If anybody sees it, they need to stop it. And we hope that parents will be very vigilant with the social media stuff. So I am a no tolerance person when it comes to bullying. So that's all I have. Thanks.
Thanks, Mark.
Let's see, really enjoyed the computer technology math stuff. I can see us spending a lot of time and money in the near future for that. I think it's a wave of the future and we're going to have to get on board with that. So I did enjoy that. Everybody else said everything I was going to say. So have a great spring break.
Dave?
I echo what Steve said about the marquee. Please don't take that personal. That was my vote and I support the decision of the board as well. Also what Steve said about students at activities, I thought the community came together. It was nice to see unity. It was nice to see kids cheering each other on, and I enjoyed going to those games. One thing, and I'll get with you, Mr. Beardsley, after some point. With my responsibility at work, I get a lot of requests for funding. And one of the things that has me a little nervous right now is some of the funding that requests that I'm getting is to help for meals for kids that can't afford it on trips. And so some of the feedback that I'm getting is that some kids aren't going out for activities because they can't afford meals because of the policies that we have. And then others are going and just not eating on these trips. So I think that's something we need to look at and address if that is really happening. So I'll get with you and share some information with you.
Okay. And I'd like to entertain a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of personnel, student discipline, and potential litigation pursuant to Wyoming statute 16-405. Moved by Tom, second by Brenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
It's quick. If I got Motion, we end our executive session.
Okay. Second by Dave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the stipulated agreement with, where's the number? Case number 2021-2022-005.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dave. Any discussion? No, you can't. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.
Need to sign that probably a couple times.
Thank you, guys.